K just came out a couple hours ago. We've been testing and I want to make my first impressions because she has a couple cool stuff that's making her a solid Electro DPS, but she is probably booked, or at least it looks like her skill 1 is not working as intended, so she might be getting a nerf. It would be stupid to nerf it, but then again, it's shift up, so we'll see what they do. But before we go into that, as usual, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, K first impressions. This is not a full build yet or a full review, just the first impressions after a couple hours of testing. Okay, thank you for letting me test on your account, because I got shafted. 6 multis, 1 copy, I actually overload her, and I got her to 777. But I got the worst lines possible. I got lines so bad that in neutral damage, she's bricked. Alright, she's bricked. I bricked my K. So I was testing on Molky's account a lot better. It was just like a funny render. So we're gonna be talking about Union Rage Electro Weak. The best composition as of right now is the Maids, just for the extra crit, for the reload speed, for everything. But before we go into that, I want to talk about her skill and why she might be getting a nerf. And again, I hope Shift Up is not that stupid to nerf a character after release, because it's their fault if it doesn't work as intended. But again, we'll see. So, skill 1, as you guys can see, activates when pellets land critical hit 4 times, affects the target. The thing is that this is working with normal bullets. On her SMG form, she's proccing this. And again, I might be tripping here, but if we come to electric or water, whatever, and we go to the 3-minute mark and we remove everyone so you guys can see this better, this is proccing every four crits, and you will see a ray hitting the boss, like a lighting hitting the boss, right? And again, this works on the SMG. An SMG does not have pellets, have normal bullets, so it looks like this is working with normal bullets. So the skill 1 is not activates on 4 pellets, it activates when landing 4 critical hits. I hope they don't nerf it, because again, it wouldn't make sense, but I'm gonna come here, okay? So we shoot a couple times to get a few crits. That lighting right there, let me the hit. There we go. That lighting right there, it was actually hitting. So let me get all the stacks so you guys can see it better. All of those lightings constantly hitting on SMG form. It's supposedly activating when 4 pellets hit the target. So I don't know if they will actually go and nerf this, if they will change how it works, or just change the wording. I hope that's what they do. What they should be doing, as you can see, it's constantly proccing, which is pretty funny. What they should be doing is just change the wording so it activates when landing 4 critical hits. If they nerf it, it will be awful. Now, that out of the way, right, that small funny thing in there, let's actually talk about numbers and how she's looking. Multiple team compositions, we've been checking mostly mates with volume for the crit. We're looking at characters that can give you crit and she can benefit from, right? And that is gonna be the best composition. It's either mates or Leona if you have her build. So, first of all, mates with Sameranis. This is a core 7, 4 elemental, 4 attack Sameranis versus K with decent lines. I think it was like 3 elemental, 3 attack, something like that. 1.2, 1.9. Really good. And again, this is a core 7 Sameranis. So, even with versus a core 7, she's still doing 1.2, which is fantastic with the mates. With the mates, switching to an Ain, this is Ain on auto. So you will be getting more damage if you actually spam shot Ain, but still 1 build versus almost 1 build, same damage. Ain is not benefiting a lot in this comp, but still mates are universal, right? So it's still pretty good. And then we switch to like a more versus another shotgun, as you guys can see, Mate Private. Mate Private is a solid Electro DPS already. And we're getting a character that is doing more damage than her already. If you have them with the same amount of investment, K will be actually outperforming Mate Private. So even for shotgun teams, we're talking about the character that can be introduced in there. Now, the problem with the shotgun team is tough. It's giving max ammo, so you're kind of breaking K skill 1. But it still can be used in there. We also tested for the memes on a Cindy team. Of course, she got fucked. Okay, let's be honest here for a second. There is, as of right now at least, nothing coming close to Cindy in terms of just damage. And of course, this team doesn't benefit K at all. Like, there is no scenario which is benefiting from this. So that's like the other thing. And then we are also running a couple more tests, one with Crown and putting her as an off-burst character. Remember that Crown is buffing characters that are bursting. So Ain, while bursting on the team, is doing 1.2k off burst, not getting the extra buff from Crown, 800 mil. And then Samira is 2.1, again, really strong core 7 fully built. And lastly, we were running a Leona with a Privacy, and she is doing 475 versus 592. This team is the worst in terms of like how much damage they can do. I don't think it's gonna be a good team unless you're running something like, let's say, Leona with Arcana and with Isabel as well, like I was doing here, but with a good K, not a bricked one, because my god, that is bad. I might use this as the thumbnail for the clickbait because it will be pretty funny. I'm gonna be honest, it will be pretty funny. That said, like I was saying, let's go back to K and her skills. A little bit on, first of all, impressions on how I will be building her right now and if it's worth pulling or not. Raid people, you're gonna be pulling, as usual. Why are you even watching a video? You need to pull for everything in this game. And when it comes to most people, even if she's a solid DPS right now, it's kind of hard justifying pulling for her because Stellar Blade is nice. And how many of you will be able to actually pull and build her? If you can afford to pull and build her before Stellar Blade, then absolutely she's a great character. Solid DPS for Electro raids. And when it comes to her skills, it looks like a skill 1 can be left at level 7 because you're already getting 29 stacks of the tilted scale, so it's more than enough. And it's pretty close in terms of damage too. So level 7 is more than enough. And same goes for skill 2 and the first skill. The amount of extra buffs that you are getting on skill 2 is not worth going past 7. And her burst, unless you're going off burst, which doesn't look like it's gonna be that worth it, I would still go 7. If you're gonna be using it as one of your main DPSs for raids, you're gonna be higher. But the 777 looks like a pretty solid build for her, and not really worth going any higher unless she is your waifu. When it comes to the cube, guys, resilience. She is a max ammo character, no reason to run Bastion, you are gonna be breaking her. When it comes to like the hit rate and all of the other cubes, this is not worth it as of right now, because you benefit more from shooting more. The more you're shooting, the more damage you're doing. She has a 1.8 reload time, which is pretty slow, that helps more. That's why also she benefits so much from the mates, because they give reload boosts. And lastly, her gear as of right now, mine was bricked. I got like 3 max ammo lines before Tarsis was in chat. Bosso, you're breaking her, and I was like, fuck me. So I had to reroll everything. Elemental and attack. Now, the thing is, if you can get a couple crit lines and if you can get crit damage, I will say it's probably gonna be worth, actually more than crit rate, it's gonna be worth going crit damage, because you can get a lot of crit rate already on her kit and then running something like either Leona or the mates. That already is enough crit. So I will say elemental attack and critical damage is actually what takes priority. Crit damage takes priority. Who would have thought that crit would actually be useful? Honestly, I'm not sure right now, just based on first impressions, like where she's gonna be landing on the tier list. This is just, again, first impressions, where the fuck I think she's gonna be going. Don't take this as where she is going to be, but she feels like most likely a T1, T2 character, because if Mate Private is a T1, there is no reason for her to be a T2, right, for K. I'm gonna be testing her on neutral compositions, on neutral teams, to see how she's doing there, and then we'll see. But for now, that's like the first impressions on her, honestly. Pretty happy with her on Molky's account. Mine was bricked, so at some point I'll have to reroll her lines, but right now I cannot afford to spend more rocks because I'm saving for Stellar Blade. So that's gonna be for the first impressions. Molky, once again, thank you for letting me test and for checking the background. Honestly, a really cool background. Where is the background? There we go. As usual, we're gonna be live later. Links in the description down below. I forgot to thank all my patrons at the intro, so thank you to all my patrons. Love you all bastards. All that yapping, no doom posting today. Good luck with your pool dinner rates, and I'll see you on the next one.